Hello, everybody. Welcome to the call. This is Scott Speth, and I again welcome you to another. Sorry about that. Another round of Agent Mastermind. I'm honored to have you here, and I have an amazing class planned for you today. And of course, I have somebody else, one of my partners, dear friend of mine. I call him brother, that is put together a class for us that I think you guys will all be able to take advantage of, get something out of, and help you to start generating some leads without paying the big bucks of the SEO, and we call it search engine optimization. I love your title here, Paul. Brother, how you doing, man?
You know what? I am doing fantastic, Scotty. I'm doing really well. And for most of you guys who have been on this call more than one time, you've heard me before. Scott and I are partners. To give you an idea of who I am and what I do, I coach loan officers on how to market themselves and grow their business. And what I'm going to be covering for you guys today is it's a work in progress. It's something that I continuously update. I can update this every other month and just barely be on top of where the changes are and the things that are happening. But I'm passionate about it because I know the results that this can bring to the table for each and every one of you on the call. If you follow the simple steps that I lay out for you here today, you can have success in what we call organic farming. And no, we're not talking about peppers and tomatoes and carrots and things. What we're talking about is we're talking about farming for leads, because quite honestly, that's what's important to each and every one of us on this call is how do I get more buyers? How do I get more sellers? How do I get more people who want to talk to me about buying or selling a home? Well, one of the ways that we can do that is we can tap into organic farming. And so that's what we're going to cover today, is talking about how to farm for leads using organic farming. So specifically, we're going to be talking about how to get you found on the internet. And that's very important to each and every one of you. You know, think about this. And Scotty, the statistic that I most recently saw from the National Association of Realtors, and tell me if this number has changed, but it was 93% of people are on the internet before they contact a real estate agent or anyone out there regarding a purchase of a home. 93% of people start their search on the internet. That's the most recent number I saw.
And I think that's going to be going up because every device that we have now has internet, every single place on planet Earth, just about. So it's easy to find stuff on the internet. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know how many times I'll be sitting there, want to know something, and I'll pick up my phone and Google it. So what do you think people are doing with their phones, their iPads? It's just crazy how accessible the internet is. So that number is probably going to go up like significant, because when you're sitting in front of a home and you want information about it, you don't want to talk to somebody. You want to know information about the home. So you want to Google it and find it. That's what I do.
We live in an instant information society. The internet has bred with us, and think about the short term. I mean, we're talking about 20 years of internet access, and in the last 20 years, it has completely changed the culture of what people look for. It used to be okay, we'd make a phone call, leave a voice message, and we'd patiently wait for the information we were looking for.
Right, exactly.
Or we'd wait till tomorrow morning and read the newspaper to get the current rates. We don't have to do that anymore. We have instant access to instant information, and people are tapping into that. Google said that year over year, mobile search queries have risen 630% year to year. That's between 2011 and 2012. 630% increase in mobile search queries.
Yeah, and
that number is rising and rising and rising and rising and rising and rising some more. So knowing how to use the internet to get found is going to help you grow your business. So today we're going to be talking about search engine optimization, and the definition of search engine optimization is the process of improving the visibility of a website or a web page in a search engine's natural, unpaid, organic, or algorithmic search results. In general, the earlier or higher ranked on the search results page, the more frequently a site appears in the search results list, the more visitors It will receive. I mean, it just makes sense. If you're seen on the first page, you're going to get more clicks. That's just how it works in this world. So the first step to farming organically or to tapping in or getting people to see you on the internet is to find out what your keywords are. That really is the big thing, because keywords are what people are searching for. You know, when I didn't put the definition of keywords here, but the keywords are, in essence, what are the terms people are searching for? What keywords are they entering in their search term to find the instant information they're looking for? They can be things like homes for sale, house for sale, real estate for sale. But it's very important not to forget about long-tail keywords like 3-bedroom home for sale in Clearwater, 2-bedroom condo for sale in Miami, or waterfront home for sale. Or even, this is even a keyword, 4-bedroom home for sale near Palm Harbor High School. That's a keyword. We call that a long-tail keyword, and I'm going to define that for you. The important thing when you're farming organically or you're looking to get found on the internet is to be as specific throughout your post as possible, because your target, the people you want to find, they're going to be specific in their searches. They're going to define their search very well. So I kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit. We're talking about long-tail keywords here. And what that means is it's very specific. The keyword definition, or the long tail keyword, is very specific, and there's not a ton of searches for them. They're not the generic homes for sale. That's a very broad search term. Not necessarily have to be long either. It just has to be specific. One of the things you have to remember, and this is statistics coming from Google, 30% of people, or 30% of the searches done on the internet, are for the top 8 phrases or the top 8 keywords in that category. And the category I'm referring to is real estate or homes for sale. Yeah. So only 30% are searching for the top 8 phrases. The other 70% of the searches, and if we're talking about 1 million, we're talking big numbers here. We're talking about 700,000 versus 300,000 are hitting the long tail. They're putting in different terms. They're specifically searching for the specific amount or bit of information that they're looking for. So this is just a graph to kind of show you these first 8 keys are only 30% of the searches. The rest, the 70%, are who we're tapping into. So the more specific equals the closer to closing they are. People that are online and that begin their search, those people that 93% of people that start their search online, they're typically 9 to 10 months out, 8 months out average, and they're searching very broad terms: homes for sale, house for sale, real estate for sale, homes in Oregon. You know, they're just trying to see what all is out there. They haven't made any decisions yet. They're just looking to see what all is out there. They don't know what they want. They're trying to determine what it is that they want. They know they want to buy a home. They just don't know what yet. Now, as they get closer, as they begin to know that they want a specific thing in a specific area, within that 4-month period, when they're now in their 0 moment of truth in that buying cycle, as it were, they're going to be much more specific. They already know that they want to be in a 3-bedroom home. They already know they want to be in Palm Harbor. They already know they want to be on a golf course. They already know they want to have a large backyard. They already know it needs to have a fireplace. They already know it needs to be a pool home. Yeah. They know these things because they've already been, for the last 5 months, searching and looking and figuring out what exactly they want. And now they've narrowed their search down. That's who we're trying to farm to, because, you know, yeah, we could build our database of people that are 6, 7, 8 months out, but let's face it, that requires a very long-term follow-up plan, and it requires a robust follow-up plan to make sure that we're keeping on touch and we're giving them touch points every week and staying in front of them every week. And
well, I think, Paul, I think you just hit a couple key points that you're hitting here that I think that I need to bring up again. One is when people start their search, they search for homes, like, for example, I'm in Kalamazoo. So people search for homes for sale in Kalamazoo. They go, oh, my God, there's 7,000 homes for sale. I'm maybe exaggerating a little bit, but you guys get the idea. So once they go out and they find, now here's the thing, is when they first start their search, it's the conversation came up at the dinner table, the conversation came up on a drive home, whatever it was. Guys, when they start thinking about that, here's the power behind organic search engine optimization is once these people, and as long as you know this, say you get one new person that you meet and they call on something and they go, yeah, we're just kind of in the starting phase of looking at homes. Great. Your job is to build a relationship because that one person who's going to buy in the next 8 to 12 months, guess what? They have friends, family, coworkers. They probably have 223 Facebook friends. Guys, your job is to not take this lightly and not take this like it's not serious. It's very serious because not only are they going to buy in the next 12 months, it's just a proven fact, but they are going to have this thing called a reticular activator. Reticular activator is something that when you're thinking about buying a car, and it's a red car, you see every single red car on the road. How your mind works. So if they're thinking about buying a home the next 12 months, and it may be sooner than that, but just know that they're going to be hearing every conversation, everybody that's buying, every for sale sign, every single thing that has to do with buying and selling a home, they're going to see it. So if they hear it and they hear somebody talking about it, and you've built a really deep down given value relationship with them, they're going to refer to you and give you referrals from that. So it's so important that at this beginning stage, once you learn how to get this organic search engine optimization and put in these long tail keywords and short keywords and all that stuff, it will pay off, but you need to know that it's not going to be just that easy. You have to, when you get that call, treat it as if it's $20,000, okay? And you wouldn't just answer questions for somebody and let them go knowing that it's a $20,000 paycheck for you, would you? And that's what I want you to think about as Paul goes through this.
And that's what you're each time. We're not looking to get 1,600 clicks on our site in the next week. We just want that. We want those long tail keywords because we want those people that are at the end of that cycle that have already chosen. We want those people that are in that process. So that's what we're going for here. All right, so some real estate keywords. Most have a geographic component when people are searching. Most searches for real estate will have a geographic component. The more specific on geography, you can be a little less specific on the keyword part about it. But if you're more specific on the keyword part about it, you can be less specific on the geography. And I'll show you some examples of that. So if you're going to go with like a more geo-specific or geographic specific, you're going to say something like real estate around the Highlands, Denver, Colorado area, or homes for sale near IBM Boulder, Colorado. That's a very specific geographic location. Home listings near Boulder Elementary School, and you know, just a little graphic. So that would be some specific ways to do it geography-wise. Now, if you're going to go with more of a keyword-rich, you're going to be less specific on the geography. Home for sale in cul-de-sac, Denver, if that's specifically what the keywords for that home are. Homes for sale under $250,000 in Denver. So these, my keywords are the weight here, and my Denver is just a second thought on the geographic area. Lakefront home for sale in Denver. Very specific to the keywords that people are searching for, less specific on the area, and then real estate for sale in Colorado. Again, that one's fairly generic on both sides of it, and that's more of a broad term to tap into the state if you've got a whole state you're looking for. Homes for sale with a view in Denver. So how do you determine what your keywords are? We know the way that we're going to think about our keywords. We're going to tap into the broad search or the more specific search terms and not the broad terms using long tail keywords. So how do I find out what the keywords I want to use are? Well, I've only ever done this using Google's keyword tool, and I gave up searching for any other help with this, software or anything else to help with this, once I found Google's keyword tool. Guys, I don't really care what the search results are on Bing because 97 people are still using Google. Yes, Bing is trying to put some commercials out there and get some people to use it, but whatever happens on Bing is just gravy. Guys, I am only concerned with what Google's results are going to be because that's the big boy. I'm going to play in the big boy station. That's where I want my results to be, is on that big boy station. So when I use Google's keyword term or keyword tool, I know that I'm getting information about my keywords directly from the source that I'm trying to use those keywords on. So what you're going to do is just go to google.com, and in the search bar you're going to type in keyword tool. The very first link it shows is the one you want to select. So here's what it looks like. I went to Google keyword tool. That very first link is what you're going to use. And it's a funky web address. It's like adwords.google.com/o/keyword tool. Just do a Google search for keyword tool, and the first link you come up with is going to be the one you're going to use. So what you do when you get into the keyword tool is you're going to type in the word or words or phrase that you want to know the keywords for. Homes for sale, Palm Harbor, mortgage lender, Palm Harbor, whatever your keywords are. Now, Google does protect against bots, so it gives you a CAPTCHA code. Once you've entered your CAPTCHA code, you click search, and your results are going to be displayed right there underneath where you put your terms are. This is what it's going to look like. So I put my word or phrase in here, homes for sale, Palm Harbor. I entered my little CAPTCHA code, and I hit search. I know that there are some things you can do with these web pages or categories. I don't ever mess with it. I'm simply looking for ideas to use for keywords in my articles that I'm going to write. Okay, so when you get the results, this is what it's going to look like. So I want to break down the results for you and give you an idea of how to read them. There are 3 columns that are available. The first column are the words or the phrases that Google is associating with the keywords that you typed in. So it's basically for that category or the keywords that you typed in. These are the other search terms that are related to that term. That's what you're going to see in the first category. So for my homes for sale in Palm Harbor, I got Palm Harbor real estate, Palm Harbor, Florida real estate, Palm Harbor, Florida real estate, house for rent in Palm Harbor, FL, homes for sale in Palm Harbor, FL, Palm Harbor homes for sale, and so on and so forth. So it associates all the different keywords that are with that phrase that you've used. The second column is the competition level. It lets you know whether it's a high, low, or medium competition level for that specific term. So Palm Harbor real estate has a very high competition level. Palm Harbor by itself for homes for sale in Palm Harbor, they consider that a very low competition level. Even though the number of searches are super high, it doesn't make so much sense for our search. Palm Harbor, Florida, again, same kind of thing. So you can kind of get an idea of where the high and the low, or what are the ones that are lots of people are trying to SEO for, and what are some of the ones that less people are SEOing for. And I'll tell you a little trick. I typically look for the ones when I'm looking for organic leads. I'm typically looking for the lowest competition level for the terms that make the most sense. Like I'd probably, on this list, I'm probably going to go with the real estate, Palm Harbor, Florida. I'm going to go with, what's this, 880. House for rent, that doesn't really make sense, but I like that 880. I want the lower numbers of search terms because those are the people that are going to be more apt to be in that buying cycle at this point. So column 3, the third column, it's showing the total number of searches as of the date that you pulled this for the month. Now it resets these. It shows a 30-day number is what you're seeing here. Is over a 30-day period of time, how many searches for that term there are globally is the center column here. Now that's globally, not necessarily your local area. The last column is local searches. It's the same thing as this column, showing the number of searches for a 30-day period of time, but that's in your local area. That's the number that you're going to pay the closest attention to in terms of paying attention to the numbers. So it looks like, Scotty, are there any questions about how to read that report?
No, man, we're good. We're totally good on questions, man. The only thing is like, and I think you're going to cover this, so I don't want to jump ahead. Where in the website are the long tail keywords placed? And that's where I want. I think you're going to cover that later.
We're getting into that in just a minute here. It's and that's the final step of what we're, well, not the final step. That's one of the middle steps of what we're doing. Is what are we getting these keywords for? Why are we gathering these keywords together?
And here's the other question: is it best to abbreviate or spell out the state?
It depends. I mean, I try it both ways. Do one article with it spelled out, do another article with it abbreviated, because there are going to be people that search with it spelled out, and then there's also going to be people that search with it abbreviated.
Okay.
So it really doesn't. It's not going to affect the SEO in terms of it being found. But what do you think the majority of your target is going to do? Are they going to spell it out, or are they going to abbreviate it? If you think the majority is going to abbreviate.
Hey, do you have? And I don't know the answer to this question, so I'm asking you. It says, please confirm. Do you use low competition or high competition?
I use low.
Low competition, high numbers.
Yep. Low competition is low a number. I typically try to find, when I'm doing my keyword search, I'm looking for the lowest competition level, or I don't really so much look at the competition level. I typically focus on the local search number, and I am looking for the numbers that are the lowest, that are the closest match to my keyword phrase.
That makes sense. Okay, cool.
Because, again, I am not looking to get the 30%. I want the other 70%. I want the person that is specifically looking for what it is that I am doing my article or my post about. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And some of these questions are going to make more sense as we plow through the steps. Okay. Yeah, 200. As low as possible. I've got a member, and I'm going to show you the results of what he's doing, that he looks for. He will only do posts on keyword phrases that are under 50 searches locally. Under 50 searches locally. And he is getting anywhere from 6 to 12 leads a week and closing about 4 or 5 deals every month off of it.
He's kicking booty. And the guy asked, how do you know, how does it know? Because it goes by IP address, right? Google knows where you're at.
Well, I typed in my search terms, if you remember, what I did in my search term is I typed in homes for sale Palm Harbor. Now, if I'd have left out Palm Harbor, it still would have intuitively known that the results needed to be for this local area, because Facebook or Google, excuse me, does know that my IP address is local to this Central Florida area. So I didn't have to put Palm Harbor, but I am trying to SEO specific for people I want to get leads off of this. So I'm going to be as accurate as I can be, including my local tags, because, again, most searches that people do for real estate will include a local element. People feel like most people don't know that Google is intuitive and knows your local area. So if you type in home for sale, it's going to show you the results in Clearwater first or your Kalamazoo. Most people don't know that about Google. So people typically they want to narrow down their search. So when they do that, they will typically type in a local indicator anyway.
Okay.
All right. So step 2. You've chosen your keywords, you've gone through the Google tool, the keyword tool, and you've decided on what your long tail keyword term is going to be. Now you've got to choose a title, because what we're doing is we're creating an article that we're going to get to the front page of Google. That's what this is all about, is creating an article to get to the front page of Google. So we're going to choose a title. What is our title going to be? This is the hard part for me, but I will tell you a little secret that I use. Now, a couple of things to make sure that you know about the title is it's important that your title, the keywords should always be included in the title, because Google's search engine spiders are looking through your title to make sure that the article itself is relevant. That's the first place those spiders are going to look. The spiders will also put more weight on the early words of your title. So if your keywords are near the beginning of your title, you're even more likely to rank well there. Now, also that's important for when people do a search and they're scanning the results, if your keywords are in the early part of your title and your results, they will actually show in the results. And if you're answering their question just in your title, that's more likely to get clicks. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I cheat. I am a cheater. I do not mind admitting it. I cheat because it works. The way that I cheat is I don't just include the keywords in my title. I use long tail keywords, and my title is my keywords. Let me repeat that. I not only include the title, the keywords in my title, but my title is my keywords. So if I'm going to do, it's something like 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor, lakefront home for sale in Palm Harbor. That's the title of my article. That is the keywords. It's the whole keyword long tail. I want to make sure that that's how I cheat, you guys, and it's okay to do that. That's what Google's looking for.
Absolutely.
All right, so based on the keywords I've chosen, here are a few sample titles. Great home for sale, Palm Harbor, 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor, because I noticed in my results that the word in generated a few more clicks. Lakefront home for sale in Palm Harbor. If there's a specific feature, a golf course home, it's unique. There's a unique area like Old Palm Harbor. You can use that in your title as well, because people that are going to look for these types of property, they're going to include that, golf course homes for sale in Palm Harbor. They're going to include that in their searches, so include that as part of your titles as well. So pretty clear on creating your title. That's a fairly easy part. Guys, just remember, just whatever your long tail keyword terms is, make that be your title. Should I use numerical for bedrooms or spell it out? I have found, Alicia, it boils down to how are people going to search for it. I feel strongly that people on Google are not going to type in the number 3. They're just going to put the numeric, put the numeric symbol 3 up there, and then type out bedroom home for sale, Palm Harbor. So I use the numerals. When I'm doing it, I use numeric values because I think that's how people are searching. You want to match exactly what you think people are searching.
Here's a great question by Susan, and I like this one. It says, I don't understand why you would not want to pick the keyword that the most people are viewing. The problem with the biggest keyword that like homes for sale is the competition is unbelievable. So you have to go with something that isn't so, because like you're never going to win that bet unless you literally, that is a full-time job. You focus on doing nothing but getting people to click on that and search that term. It's going to be really tough because people pay for stuff like that, and that now we go into SEO, like paid SEO, where people pay for clicks and it gets expensive. So we're trying to teach you organic stuff where you may not be number 1, number 2, number 3, but you may be 4, 5, or 6, which is the front page, which is where people, they'll stay on the front page and they'll click on anything on the front page. 99% of them will not even go to page 2. So we're trying to help you get to page 1 to make it worth your while to have these sort of keywords in there.
And I feel strongly about this, very, very strongly about this. Susan, somebody that is had a conversation over a dinner table or driving in the car home says, you know what, honey? You want to look to see if there's anything. Let's move. Let's buy a new house. Sounds like a good idea. Okay, let's go online. Homes for sale. That person is nowhere near making a buying decision. They have no idea what they're interested in, what they're looking for, and there's going to be tens of thousands of those people that have that wild hair for a brief moment and decide they're going to look at some homes. And you can tap into that. There's nothing wrong with tapping into that. What my method does is it helps you tap into that person that's already decided, I know that I need for my family a 3-bedroom home. I know that my husband absolutely wants to be on a lakefront. I absolutely know that I want my kids to be able to go to Palm Harbor High School. I absolutely know that I need to be in this specific community. I've done all my research. I'm definitely buying that. So, yep, I may not get 10,000 people to search that term, but again, I am only looking for I only want to get about 20 or 25 people to see my post, and what I'm going for is the action takers, the people who are in that position to take action. Google came out with a statistics and some online habits of buyers in the real estate industry. They did a co-effort with National Association of Realtors. It just came out in January. One of the big things that it showed is that people that are within that 3-month period and find a site organically are 7% more likely to take action. Well, if that's 10 people and I've got only 7%, that equals 1 person out of 10 that finds it's going to take action. That's all I need. I only want those 50, 25, 50 people that are searching those terms, because I only want a few specific people to take action, because those are going to be my focus. That's who I'm going to sell the home to. It's not about just getting yourself seen. There's lots of ways to get yourself seen on the internet.
Right.
This is about generating actual qualified leads, and doing it this way with the long tail keywords, tapping into those lower search terms.
Right.
You will get more action takers when they find you, and those action takers will be ready.
They're going to be later on down the road.
Exactly. They've moved through the process a little further.
Hey, here's a great one by Mo, and this is a great idea. So he says, for realtors, wouldn't it be beneficial to use keywords in the public remarks section of the local MLS systems? Example, the St. Louis Mo 3-bedroom beauty, or does this only apply to blogs and articles?
Mo, this would work in that situation. It absolutely would work in that situation, and I've seen it happen with things like in some MLS systems like Trulia and Zillow. I've actually seen that occur, so absolutely that would work for you. And yes, Joanne, we are recording this. Just contact the loan professional who invited you today to get access to the recording and the PowerPoint presentation. All right, so we're moving on to step 3 here, looks like. And step 3 is you've got a killer title. You've chosen your keywords wisely, and you've put together your long tail keyword as your title. It has all of your top keywords in it, and now it's time to write your article. This is the fun part, guys, writing your article. Now, I will tell you, contrary to popular myth, there is no specific number of words, maximum or minimum, to search engine optimize your article. The number of words is going to be based on the story you are telling, and you must tell a story. If Google sees it as you are stuffing keywords into what looks like a paragraph form, you get deranked quicker than anything, and getting re-ranked is next to impossible on Google. So a couple of words of warning here. Nope, you don't have to have a minimum number of words, but I'll tell you, if you just put your keyword phrase in 2-3 times with if, and the in between them, you're gonna get deranked. Write original content with your keywords in it that tells a story about what it is that you're writing about. If it's a 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor, tell a little story about the 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor. That's typically going to take you about 300 to 400 words. It's not a magic number. Please don't think that I'm giving you the magic number, because quite honestly, there is no magic number. Just have a good, well-written article with your keywords in it. Now, I will tell you, keyword density is not a myth. And keyword density is something that the algorithm, it's one of the first things that the algorithm that Google uses, and by the way, it's called Panda, is the name of their algorithm. And they look for keyword density. 3 to 7% of major keywords is best. 1 to 2% of minor keywords. Now, we haven't talked about any minor keywords, and that's something we're not going to go into on this class. But a good rule of thumb is if when you write your article, you want to have your keywords in there a minimum of 3 times. A minimum of 3 times. And I typically write my article about somewhere between 300 to 500 words. I have found that if I have my keywords in there, my long tail keyword phrase in my article of 300 to 500 words 3 times, I am set. I've done what Google would like me to do. So keyword density, do not go over. If you come close to 10%, you are going to get deranked. So if you I'm just letting you know, if you write a 300-word article and you put your keywords in there 5, 6 times, you are going to get deranked. It's one of those things that Google does look for. They're not so worried if you don't have it in exactly 7% of the time or 3% of the time, but they do not like it if you go over 10% at all, ever. So I don't even come close. I just do it 3 times in my articles.
So don't go crazy with it is what you're saying. And this is where you're bringing up right now, the penguin.
Yep, and this is a second part. Don't anger the penguin. This is a new piece of the algorithm. I say new. It's a year old now. It was released in May of 2012. It added a software called Penguin. And before, you used to be able to do what they call black hat SEO practices, and I used to do it, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd create a blog post or an article for a website, and I had a way to create a code called a meta tag code, where I would stuff the meta tag with 3 lines of keywords, all separated by a comma, and then put a code in front of it and behind it, so it didn't show up on the site, but it made Google think that I was relevant to any keyword terms that were in those meta tags. Well, the Penguin doesn't like that anymore. So what Google wants to do is enhance the end user experience. They want their search engine page results to be the best page results or make the viewer, the end user, happy. Those black hat tactics, stuffing keywords, there was no content. So the person ends up with a site that's SEO'd but no content, so they didn't get what they were looking for. And so Google put a stop to that. They reward the white hat tactics. So that's what makes what I'm doing, and the reason that I do it specifically in these 1, 2, 3, 4 steps. This Penguin software, based on when this was launched, I started developing these 4 steps. And I have found this, if you follow these 4 steps, you will make your Penguin very happy, and you will get the results you're looking for. Now, there was an update to both Panda and Penguin software in October of 2012, and basically what they did is they put emphasis on content above the fold. Does everybody know what that means, content above the fold? On news, this is a term that they created for during newsprint. And if you look at a newspaper, it's folded in half. The top stories always are on that top half of the front page. Anything else gets buried, or when they have the stories, they bury it below the fold. They consider that they translated that into online media. The fold is a very generic term in terms of online media because your fold may be in a different place than my fold. I got a big giant computer screen here. My fold is like 1,100 pixels deep. Your fold may be only 600 pixels deep. Now, the reason that they did this, and this is a quote from Google themselves, we've heard complaints from users that if they click on a result and it's difficult to find the actual content, they aren't happy with the experience. Rather than scrolling down the page past a slew of ads, users want to see content right away. The claim given, this adjustment, sites with high ads and low content above the fold may not rank as well going forward. So that's Google saying that. So content above the fold. Now, do you mind if I go live here real quick, Scotty?
No, man. No,
I wanted to show what this actually looks like. Yeah. They have a tool. Google has a tool, and I included the link to the tool. What page was I on? I included the link to the tool in the PowerPoint so you guys can all access that. And this is basically the different page layouts according to Google. And they put a percentage here. So this purple percent, 99% of people on all devices, 99% are going to see this content here. 98% are going to see the content here. And as you can see, the further out you go, the lower the percentage is. So once you get to this pink area, 30% of people that are viewing this piece are not seeing what's here. They have to actually scroll to get it. That would consider this donate button to be below the fold once it gets to 70%. And as you can see, it just keeps growing. 30% of people, only 30% of people are seeing it if it's this large. So your content being above the fold is what Google's looking for.
It's a great graph, man.
And this is a tool that Google uses, and they've got a new one coming out that you actually have to go through your AdWords to be able to see your AdWords account, and it's even more specific where it actually you can put in the URL address of the page you've got, and it will show you based on your article how many people and what devices will see it. So it's a much more robust tool moving forward. But it's a good indicator of what your information is. So be conscious of where you are in terms of the fold. I mention that because as I talk about sprucing your posts up in just a few short minutes, it's important to understand that your content goes above your videos. Your content is the top thing. It's what Google's looking for. All right, so paint the picture for your viewer when you're writing your article. That goes back to it being a myth about how much, minimum, maximum number of words. If you're painting the picture the right way, you don't need to concern yourself with what your word count is. If it's a listing, your search engine optimization is that a good word? Is that a valid word?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Tell the viewer why this would be a great place to live. Paint the picture for them. Sprinkle, not spread. Again, remember going back to that keyword density. You want to sprinkle your keywords throughout, but you don't want to spread them in there. Your article should sound as grammatically correct as possible, but remember, using your keywords exactly as you've got them in your title and using them exactly the way you want them. Lakefront home for sale in Palm Harbor is much more important than making sure that the sentence sounds exactly correct. So if you say something like, imagine living in this beautiful lakefront home for sale in Palm Harbor, I grammatically correct would be, imagine yourself living in this beautiful lakefront home in beautiful Palm Harbor, but I want to say my keywords exactly. So imagine yourself living in this beautiful lakefront home for sale in Palm Harbor. I want it to sound like that. So it's not always going to be exactly grammatically correct, but you want to get it as close as possible to grammatically correct. So make sure your content is fresh and original. Never copy and paste. Guys, this is going to prompt, I'm opening up the question box now. This is the big one that typically prompts the most amount of questions. And I'll tell you if you're typing a question in on this, stop real quick because I'm going to answer it right here. You're either typing in, what if I copy and paste it to a notepad and then it doesn't have the code? What if I get it from Fiverr? What if I get it from here? What if it's an article that I wrote on another, one of my own articles I wrote on another post? What if it... Guys, never, never, ever, if you would like to be successful with organic farming for search engine optimization to generate real buyer leads, do not copy and paste. I know the questions are coming. Go ahead and post them now. I may have missed one or two there, but I'm just saying up front, you cannot copy and paste and achieve results. Google, their algorithm is much more sophisticated than you and I will ever imagine, and I'm sure there are a lot of people on this call much smarter than I am, but I'll tell you this, none of us work for Google. Those guys this is what they do for a living. They are looking for that kind of thing. That Penguin software that was released is specifically designed to look for copy and paste material. It's specifically designed to look for ways that people are trying to circumvent their algorithm. Do not copy and paste. What about word replacement software like Webfire? I disagree. What about copy, edit, and paste? I disagree.
So period. Copy and paste is
no copy and paste for Word doc, especially not from a Word doc. More than any other place ever, never from Word. Word puts in, based on the font color, the font size, based on the spacing that you're using, based on where the margins are, those are all coded in on Word, and Word is worse than any of them. You'll have all kinds of code on it, and that will never get search engine optimized.
Yeah, right? So Glenn, dear friend of mine, he says never copy and paste even on Property Blog where you are posting 5 blogs and we have to type each one in without copying the prior blog and changing some words. So it's just a no-no.
That is correct. That is correct. And guys, I promise you this, and I'm going to be general here. Most of you, everybody on this call knows what they do for a living. You guys are good at what you do. You guys make your living doing what you do. Writing a couple of it's kind of like writing a long post on Facebook, an extra long post on Facebook, or pretend that somebody emailed you a question and it requires a long answer about that question. And just write the article. I cannot stress enough how important it is that you write original content. Travis, I mean other people's material. I mean your own material. You can't. If you do a post on one website and it gets SEO'd and you copy that post and you put it on another website, even though you are the original creator of that, that is still what Facebook or Google sees as copy and pasted or plagiarized content, and they will derank it. Look, guys, the algorithm is not perfect. It is not a human being sitting there and determining the difference between this and that. They don't have any room or ability for leeway in it. So if you copy and paste it one way, or if it's my own article, that Google does not have the ability to differentiate, you guys, which is why I say never, 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 ever copy and paste, because we're dealing with a computer algorithm. It does not have the human element to differentiate between said A and said B and this and the other. All it's looking for.
So I wouldn't even copy and paste it into Word. So what Glenn does is he writes it. He literally, whatever you want to write, just know that it needs to be physically typed into your WordPress blog to get the best organic search engine optimization.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's that simple. And I know every time I bring this up, this prompts a million questions, and the questions all revolve around the same thing. And the answer each and every time, guys, is you're welcome to try it, but I will tell you from my experience, and I've been studying
results from it.
One time. You may get, and you know what? I've actually seen it get to the front page of Google for 5 or 6 days, and then poof, Google catches up to it, and as soon as it runs that second scan, and poof, the entire, not just that post is deranked, but the entire blog and website was deranked, and it was, I mean, literally impossible. A petition had to be sent to Google to ask them to re-verify the site, to check it again because the post had been removed. We apologize. Blah, blah. Please check the site again. And then it took months to get it to back up to even searchable on the internet.
Nice.
And Karen, I'm going to be covering that exact question in just a minute here. Pictures on photo buckets are great stuff. I'm going to be talking about sprucing up in just a minute. How do you know if Google has deranked you? If you do a search for your specific site, do a search for your site, and if you don't come up on the first page or the first link, put your link actually in there, and if you are deranked, you won't find it even if you put your link in there. So, and I know I missed one or two in that specific part. Let's go ahead and move on, and then we'll have a little bit more time for some Q&A at the end, Scotty.
Cool, man. All right.
I hope.
Yeah,
we're running short. Yeah, we're running low.
We're running short, so we got about 9 minutes.
So when you're writing your article, again, make sure it's original, fresh content. You're never going to copy and paste. Now, when you're writing the article, you're going to bold, italicize, and underline your keywords in your article. So if my keywords are 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor, I highlight my entire keyword phrase with bold, underline, and italicize each time it appears in my article. So if I mentioned if I do a 300-word article and I've got my keywords in there 3 times, boom, I bold, underline, and italicize those 3 times. You do that because you're highlighting. You're just kind of showing Google that this stands out in the article. It helps the spiders find your content a little bit more. And this is what it looks like with the bold, underlined, and italicized in an actual article. All right, step 4. We are almost there, you guys. We've written some pretty cool article. We got a great killer title. We've written a fantastic article with the keywords sprinkled all up in there. You even made them stand out by bold, italicizing, and underlining them. So you're done, right? You're ready to roll? Almost, not quite. We got a couple more things we can do, and that is spruce it up. We're going to make it look good, and we're going to give Google that much more incentive to show our stuff off. So the way that we spruce it up is we add 2 to 3 links back to your post or links on your post. Only use relevant links. Again, it goes back to making sure that penguin is super happy with what we're doing. And if you cross all the T's and dot all the I's in terms of the Penguin software, and I've shown you that in these steps, you will get ranked. Now, part one of those I's to cross is relevant links. So if I say, come live in this beautiful 3-bedroom home for sale in downtown Palm Harbor, the beaches here are second to none, and I put a link back to a beach that is in Hawaii or Miami or Daytona or Jacksonville or somewhere else, that's not a relevant link. That's a beach, but it's not relevant to the Palm Harbor area. So I want to put a link to Palm Harbor beaches that has to do with Palm Harbor beaches. If you mention a great country club nearby, you can hyperlink to the words in the country club. Same kind of thing. You want to make sure that whatever you link to is relevant to what you're talking about when you're writing it. You can also add a video to your post to support the keywords. Again, the video must be relevant to the post. Remember the penguin. If you post about a wonderful beaches in your area, don't embed a video of a beach in Hawaii. It's got to be a beach in your area. Same kind of thing. Remember this, when you're doing videos, like adding a video to it or images, put them below the content. The article itself goes at the top so that that appears above the fold, and your video would go below that so it appears below the fold. For both your links back and your videos, you're going to use Google. Just do a Google search for, if you wrote about the country club, do a Google search for that country club, because whatever the first results are, those are already SEO'd. So tap into that SEO strength and give them relevant content. Using relevant videos to link back that is already SEO'd will help grow your Google articles' relevance. Also, Google owns YouTube. So when you put a YouTube video in there, you want that video to be search engine optimized. So if I do a search for Palm Harbor beaches, I want to use the video that's highest ranked for Palm Harbor beaches, or the one that's most appropriate. Don't get me wrong, the highest rank one on videos especially will sometimes not be the most appropriate video to use. There could be a sales video. It could be like one I found specifically for Palm Harbor beaches. It was a bunch of people on the beach in bikinis. That was not appropriate for what I wanted to use, so I chose the second SEO'd one that was more about the water and the sand and stuff like that. So make sure you're watching your videos if you're going to use video, and make sure it is not inappropriate. You can find a good SEO'd video that for your post, and there are times that it may not be the most appropriate thing to share. So this is a post that I did. 3-bedroom home for sale in Bergen Beach, Brooklyn. Okay, so that's the keywords is my title. That's my title right there. The content is all above the fold, as you can see. I spruced up my video with a supporting, or spruced up my post with a supporting video. As you can see, I've got my keywords in here 1, 2, 3 times. As you can see, I'm linked 1, 2 times. So I actually have a single property website for this post. So I did the 3-bedroom home for sale in Bergen Beach, Brooklyn. Directly, I linked one of those directly to the single property website. And then I also talked about one of the local schools here for the Garden of Learning, and I linked to the Garden of Learning website. Now, additional supporting content, it's all below the fold. And this is just an image of what the website looked like for that property. And this is the result we got. Guys, this is Brooklyn, New York. Brooklyn, New York, and we are on the front page of Brooklyn, New York. This is from April 1st, 2013, just to show you what the dates are. This is when Scotty had asked me about doing this class for you guys. That's when I made these screenshots. So the proof is in the pudding, guys. Again, all I did was I had a title. I wrote a very well-written article, just an article about the property with my keywords sprinkled, not spread. I linked back 2 times in my article. I spruced it up with a video. And that's all I did. That's all I did, and we got the results of the first page in Google. Now here's another result from one of my loan officer partners who did the same thing. He wrote a good article. This happens to be inside of Active Rain. He wrote a good article. There's his keywords as the title. He's got his keywords mixed in here, bold and italicized. He's got 2 links right there. And the results he got, we were on the front page of Google with the search terms he wanted within 4 hours in his area. Now, his area is not as competitive as some other areas, and his search term, again, he goes with long-tail search terms that are, these are not the big terms, but it's a term that's going to generate clicks for him, okay? My guess is that he is now the first link on there for this particular post, because after 4 hours it was already on the front page. My guess is he owns the category now. So that's all there is to it. That's all you've got to do.
Man. Awesome.
These techniques work for any web-based platform. Scotty, these techniques are going to work for Active Rain blogs. These are going to work for Real Estate Marbles for those of you who are using Real Estate Marbles. It'll work for a WordPress blog. It's going to work for Blogger Site if you're in Blogger Spot. It's going to work for eProperty Sites blogs. It's going to work for any templated website, anywhere where you get the opportunity to control the content and put your own articles up. This works for YouTube videos, guys, so you can do the same article writing, the same 4 steps. All you have to skip is step 4. You don't want to spruce up your video because there's already a video there. You just write a good article in the description section, and YouTube will also get you search engine optimization rankings. Now, some places will work faster than others, Scotty. One of the big things that I've found is utilizing a service like Active Rain, Real Estate Marbles, Blogger, or eProperty Sites. You're going to get fast results, and the reason for that is the sheer number of domains that have the same URL, activerain.com/ your post name. There are thousands and thousands and thousands out there. realestatemarbles.com, remarbles.com / Paul Baxter / my 3-bedroom home for sale in Palm Harbor. There's thousands of RE Marbles, so my ranking is going to be much quicker because of the fact that Google sees that there are so many with the same URL, this must be relevant.
Okay.
Now, if you're SEOing for your own blog or your website, the results will depend on your consistency. Because you don't have the, the paulbaxterisgreat.com, I don't have a million of those out there. There's just one of those. I've got to be more consistent. I've got to do the same thing that I talked about here with my steps 1 through 4, but I've got to do it more than just once. I can't get that ranking by just doing one article like that. I've got to do it multiple times to show Google that my paulbaxterisgreat.com is a relevant website and it does accurately answer those questions. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So what I found is typically about 4 well SEO'd posts will get you to the front page on a WordPress blog. On a website, it's going to be more like 7 or 8 well-written articles.
So here's the deal. So we're at the end of our hour. I'm sure there's a ton of questions on this. Here's the thing, Paul. Do you want to type in into a Word doc where they go to sign up for the group to ask the questions? Because we have an amazing group. If you want to just put it right under like that or whatever, open a Word doc. Guys, we have a Facebook group. It's private. And here's the thing: if you ask questions in this Facebook group, the only people that see it are the people in the group, and which are you guys who are on the class today. And so everybody can learn. Because there's so many good questions coming in. We will answer all of them, we promise. So, depending on the amount of questions that come in. But, guys, this is an amazing group where people are doing amazing things and doing different things and just a place to go. So it's facebook.com /groups /agent mastermind. we will accept you into the group, and because the only way to know about it is to be invited there by either your loan officer that sent you to this training or one of us on the call today. And that's where we can interact and engage and help you guys with all the questions. But not only that, here's where the big part comes, is everybody else can learn from the questions. So if you have any questions that we didn't answer today, I know we answered a bunch, but we're out of time. We don't want to hold you guys over. We hate doing that because we want you to come back because we have so much more content to have to bring to the table throughout the next couple months. So please go there just so everybody can learn. Paul, amazing class, man. I appreciate you spending. I know this is not easy material, easy topic, but dude, you did an amazing job at presenting this. And
I appreciate it. There's a lot of technical stuff that you can talk about with search engine optimization. The reality, guys, is if I sat here and talked about the algorithmic method and meta tagging and all the guys, that doesn't help anybody. There's an easy way to do this. There really is an easy way to tap into search engine optimization, and you know, I don't get all the technical terms. I've tried, guys, doing my research on this. I've more than once I had to go tap my IT guy on the shoulder. What does this mean? I don't get the techie talk here. Right. So in order to make it so this is something that you guys can go out there. If you do this, you can go out there today. You can get off this call as soon as we end it here. You can go and write an article and get it posted on your favorite, you know, wherever you've got a platform today and get results from this. But only because I wanted to, guys, the key is show you how to do it easily. And I know there's some things in here that are not easy, like embedding a video. Okay, that's a little bit techie. Right, but for the most part, I tried to give you these 4 easy steps because it's important to me that each one of you on this call get out there and actually do it today. Yeah. Pick up the phone. Yeah, exactly. If I had like this dream thing going on, every real estate agent on this call right now would pick up the phone, get in touch with their loan professional and say, hey, I saw that call. Thanks for bringing me to it. I want to do that. Can you come sit with me and let's do it together? Get yourself an accountability partner, guys, because I promise you by having somebody that will hold you accountable for implementing these things, you are going to produce the results that we just talked about. You know, I just showed people on the front page of Google. Yeah. I mentioned before, I teach loan officers how to do this. And that guy, the gentleman I showed you in Colorado, he does this article 3 times a week. He generates anywhere from 6 to 15 loans. It just depends on what the article is and how, what's happening. But anywhere from 6 to 15 loans a month just on generic organic SEO. Just on that. Now, that's not even in conjunction with any of the other strategies. Guys, it's easy stuff to do. And what you're blogging about or what you're writing these articles about, it's stuff, it's as if someone had asked you a question. Just write an article about the importance of visiting open houses.
We need to do another class on like where to find content, where to find articles, the best place to find them, how to make them your own, stuff like that. So we'll work on that as well.
Give me a couple weeks on that one. That one might take a little more research to put all that stuff because again, it's important not to ever copy and paste. And so putting together a class on where to find content, it's important that we show you where to find it, but help you understand how to take it and spin that article to become your own. So that you're not just copy and pasting. You're spinning it into your own article. It's a really great way to do it. Scotty, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate the opportunity to get in front of your group, man. This is great people here.
And I know. And I appreciate you guys. The kudos, a lot of kudos coming in, Paul. I appreciate you guys. You guys appreciate what Paul's doing for us. You can go to that group page right here on the page and just say, hey, thanks, Paul, for bringing this to us. Here's some questions that I had. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm sure Paul would appreciate it as well. He put a lot of time and hard work into this. And, Paul, man, I appreciate you, brother. And just glad to have you with me every week, man. This is a good time helping people and moving forward, man.
Absolutely. I love you, brother. You have a great day. And I'll see you in not next week. I'll see you in a week, bro.
That's right, man. I know.
I love it, man. Have a good one. We'll see you guys.
Take care.
The organizer has ended this session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.